Hello everyone. I thought I would make a quick video about some movement quirks and tips in this game. Some very minor things, but I do use them while playing, which just helps you move faster and improve your movements ever so slightly. So let's get started. The first one is what I call a speed jump. I've searched on YouTube and forums for people explaining this trick or mentioning it, and I found very few people who mentioned it. So I'm not sure if it has another name that people call it usually, or if it's just not well known. But what a speed jump is basically, well, let me demonstrate first what I'm talking about. So, for example, this ring makes move faster, and when you jump in this game, as you can see, your movement speed slows down quite a bit. As you can see, when you jump, you know, you're running faster, but when you jump, your movement is constant. Your momentum stops quite a bit when you jump. So what a speed jump is basically a jump where you keep your running momentum, or your walking momentum even. There are a few ways to trigger this bug, so to say. I haven't found a way that is 100% consistent, but I found a way that is very consistent. But I'm not sure how the inner workings of the bug works, so to say. So the way that I found to trigger it consistent is to run and then you start walking diagonally. So as you can see, I'm pressing W and D at the same time, so it walks diagonally, and then you jump. And this makes the bug trigger very consistently. As you can see, when I jump, I keep the momentum of the jump and I jump very far instead of just being a small jump. Like that was a small jump. So if I'm running and I just jump, you can see I don't jump very far at all. But if I'm doing the bug, the speed jump, you can see it goes much farther. That was not one, but it's very consistent if you do the diagonal trick. Something that I also found to happen with this bug is that it's easier to trigger when you have more movement speed than when you have less. You can still trigger it quite consistently with less movement speed, so you can see I'm not running as fast now, but you can still trigger it. That was not one. That was not one either. That was one. So you can see it doesn't have that much of a difference when you don't have too much movement speed, but it's still a good improvement. Obviously, if you have a boost like Major Expedition, you have more movement speed, so you can see it makes a bigger difference when you get a speed jump like I'm getting now. And so yeah, that's the first movement trick. You might be wondering, why is this useful? It's not useful for much, I will say that. It's just something that I find fun to do just when I'm running around and trying to get them. There's one particular scenario where I found it to be useful, which is in Vaults of Madness. I will show a video here. Wait, not this video. Okay, finally found the video. There's one specific situation, as I was saying, where this bug is useful, which is in Vaults of Madness, this particular jump here, where you usually need to jump into the water and then jump up. If you do a speed jump here from this side to the other, you just jump right across. It's very minimal, doesn't make a difference, but this is the only scenario where I found this bug to actually help you in terms of gameplay. If you ever want to be fast on the Vaults of Madness, you just do this and jump across. So that was the one scenario that I actually found it to be useful. You can use it from time to time, but it's not that important, as I said. Now, for the next one, so that's the speed jump, basically. Oh yeah, something that I also found is that it's much easier to proc it, so to say, when you are running on a straight surface, like not a slope, it's just a straight surface. So as you can see here, this is a straight line, so it's very easy to proc. However, if I'm jumping on this mount that's here, it might not be as easy to get it. As you can see, usually it doesn't give it to me. So that's something that I found. It seems like you need to be jumping on a flat surface. Okay, so the next one is kind of similar to the speed jump, where you keep your momentum, but this time you're keeping your momentum from roll dodging. So when you roll dodge, so let's say you're slowed, and then when you roll dodge, your momentum is higher than when you're slowed. Roll dodge always has the same momentum, always has the same velocity. So when you're slowed, for example, there's not an easy way to get slowed here, but let's imagine you're slowed. You're walking very slow, but when you roll dodge, it's actually faster than when you are slowed. So what this trick is basically you jump after a roll dodge, and it keeps the momentum of the roll dodge. Now, this can be actually very useful in combat. One particular scenario that I always use this in is on Sunspire, on the last boss. If you are tanking, you have the ads that you need to get out of the circle, and the circle slows you. So what you can do is that you roll dodge out of the circle, and you jump, and you go super far because of the momentum of the roll dodge. And that lets you, just jump out of the circle very easily without being slowed. I will hopefully put a clip in the video if I can get one. But that is the roll dodge jump. As I said, there's not much to know about it. I haven't been able to test it much, but as far as I can tell, you just roll dodge and you have a specific frame window to jump after the roll dodge. You see I got one there. It's very hard to tell when you get one. But that was not one, but I got two in a row there. So basically just jump after the roll dodge and you keep the momentum of the roll dodge. A very useful trick for combat. Now, the next one that I have is the horse jump, which I will need to get out of here to show because I need to be riding a horse. And this one is not useful for combat because you cannot be riding in combat. It is useful, however, for other stuff when you are just exploring or you need to go from one place to the other very quickly. And this helps it speed just a bit. So what this bug is basically is to unmount quickly and keep the momentum of the horse. Let me just go to a random way shrine here in Somerset. So as you can see, let's say I want to talk to that NPC. Usually you're riding your horse. You come here, you press to talk, and
we'll head to...
well, not this one. I guess talking to NPCs doesn't count. But if you want to grab, for example, a resource on the overworld, like this butterfly that I saw. Oh, it's a frog, it's not a butterfly. Let me just quickly find a resource. Okay, so let's say this this wood log. So if you want to grab this wood, you're mounted on your horse. You need to wait for the animation to unmount, and then it starts collecting the wood. This bug basically is you're running, and then if you are running on your horse and you block, you can see it instantly unmounts. There's no animation, you just pop right into the ground. Just by blocking. So I'm gonna block in 3, 2, 1, and you can see it just completely vanishes the mount. So what you can do is to use this to your advantage. So let's say I want to go there, and I don't want to be mounted when I'm there. So what you can do is you jump, you block me there, and you can see the mount just disappears right away. So you can do whatever you need to do here, and your mount just basically vanishes right away. Very minor, but I do use it from time to time when I am just exploring. I need to collect something, just jump, and now I could collect it right away instead of waiting for the animation. Very minor, as I said, but it does work. So let's say, for example, this wood log. I'm coming here on my horse, jump blocks, stealth weapon, and I can collect it right away without having to wait for the animation of the mount and for the animation to put the weapon away. Something that I also did there was to put my weapon away during the jump. So I blocked and then I clicked the button to put my weapon away. The default is Z on the keyboard. So as you can see, it's putting the weapon away mid-air so I can be ready to do whatever I need to do right away. Very minor improvements. None of the things in this video are going to be actually useful. It's just things that I like and I find funny about this game that you can use to save like half a second. If anyone ever speedruns this game, maybe it's useful. So the next one that I have is a very useful one actually. As you can see, well, I have it enabled, but usually when you open the inventory in this game, you can see your character looks at you, and then you cannot walk, because when you open the camera, you cannot walk, and then when you start walking, the camera goes away. So you cannot have your inventory open while running or walking or whatever it is. This add-on that I use, it lets you do that. So as you can see, I have my inventory open, I can have my map open, and I'm still walking around, still moving, still roll dodging. Well, you cannot roll dodge with inventory open, but close enough. You can open it after roll dodging. And that's what this add-on does. Well, it doesn't do just this, but it's one of the options that I really like. This one is called No Thank You. There's some other add-ons that do this, but this one does it. And I found this accidentally, so it's really cool. It's in here somewhere. Don't interrupt animations and don't rotate the game camera. So that's what it does. So for example, you can be on your horse, riding, messing on your inventory, doing whatever you need to do, opening your map, checking where you're going, but still walking. No need to stop walking when you're doing that. So that's a really useful thing that I use. Useful in combats from time to time. You know, I'm trying to walk to some place, repairing my gear during a trial, whatever it may need, or whatever it may be, and it doesn't stop me from doing that. Now, the last one I have, I think... Oh no, there's one more. Okay. So the next one is also very useful for combat. This is running and doing abilities. So as you can see, when you run, you can press abilities. I'm pressing my buttons to trigger my abilities, but I cannot cast them because I'm running. However, as soon as you stop running, you see I'm not pressing shift, and now I can use my abilities. What you can do is that you stop running just for a split second, so you just stop pressing shift, press the button for the ability, and press shift again. So you basically don't stop running, but you can still do the skills. You see, I'm basically always running, but I can still do the skills because I'm stopping the running just for a split second, so I can do the skill, and then I start back on running. This can be useful from time to time. For example, when you're pre-buffing to start a fight, just in a normal dungeon, going straight, not waiting anything. You're just running to the next mob pack, and you're just pre-buffing, putting all your abilities down while still running. So that can be useful. Yeah, not much to say about that one. You just stop running, press the ability, and start running again. One last thing that I didn't note down, but this is useful as well. This game actually has auto loot, and a lot of people don't seem to know about it. If you go here to gameplay, under items, you can see auto loot that you can enable. Auto loot makes it so, you know, I'm just walking around, I don't need to open the window, I just press the button, it collects instantly, and I can still be running or doing whatever I need to do. It doesn't open the window showing the items that the enemy has. So that's very useful as well. Okay, and the last thing, which is not really a movement, but I wanted to put it somewhere. It's what I like to call light attack block cast weaving. It's basically that you can block right after the light attack. This is more for, you know, people who are more comfortable with the game, more comfortable with the combat system. And as you may know, if you do trials, veteran trials, you know that it's hard to stay alive some of the times and some of the fights. And blocking is very important, because blocking reduces your damage taken by 48, I think, default. 52. Well, 52 on a Templar. I don't know if it's a Templar thing, but 52 block mitigation is really important. That basically doubles your HP if you're always blocking. However, you don't want to be always blocking, because you cannot cast light attacks if you're blocking. You know, if you're perma blocking, you cannot cast light attacks, it will bash. But what you can do, however, is that you light attack and then you block right away. And if you do this, as you can see, I'm basically perma blocking. There's a very tiny window where I'm not blocking. But I'm basically always blocking. So basically, I'm having 52% block mitigation all the time. And this will help you stay alive a lot, especially in hard fights. You might be saying, can you still block cast skills? Yes, you can. It's a tricky thing to get used to, but if you get the timing down, you can just do it very easily. As you can see here, I can still cast all my abilities, still perma blocking. I slotted up Siege Recorder so I can have a shield so you can see very easily what I'm blocking. And you can see I'm still casting my abilities. Still got all my time and still perma blocking. And still getting my light attacks off, obviously. So that's one more combat, not so much movement, but I wanted to put in this video as well. And I think that's basically it. Again, for this block, you just light attack, block right after. There's no animation for the light attack, so you can just block right away. And when you need to light attack, you just drop the block, light attack, back to blocking. So you basically switch your fingers from right click to left click. And as you can see, you can just keep blocking, which makes you survive a lot more. If you get used to the timing, this is really easy. The only thing you need to pay attention to is your stamina. As you might know, the stamina does not regen if you're blocking, so if you look at my stamina, it's not going up because I'm blocking. So if you're doing this a lot and then you need to roll dodge, you're not going to have enough stamina to roll dodge, so you just got to pay attention to your stamina levels if you are doing this. I think that's it. I think that's all I wanted to show you. Let me just make sure I got all the points I had noted. I think so, yeah. That is it. I'm probably forgetting one or two things that I use so often, but it doesn't really matter. Thank you everyone for watching. Hopefully you learned something new. Hopefully you can apply this to your gameplay if that's the kind of thing you want to do. I find some of these very useful, especially the roll dodge jumping. It saves me a lot of times, especially on a tank when you need to get from one place to the other. For example, the first boss in VMOL where you need to cleanse. As a tank, this trick helps you so much. You're so slowed because of the curse, and if you roll dodge and jump, you basically go straight to the curse pad right away. Don't need to roll dodge 2 or 3 times. You just roll dodge straight across. And that is it. That is basically the whole video. Thank you very much for watching. See you around. Hopefully you learned something. Goodbye.